Hello and welcome to Game Club. Today we'll be playing Pass the Bomb, the big one. This is like Pass the Bomb except, well, bigger. Join us as we play and review. Okay, first up we're going to unbox her, and I like the cover. I think it's quite fun. It's quite it adds. Whereas as you probably will remember, or if you don't, you can check out the Pass the Bomb, the black and white video. I use the Pass the Bomb with video, which is in, the box is black and white, sorry, with a tinge of orange. This is actually added to it somewhat. Take it off, and you've got a nice colour palette here, quite vibrant, quite vigorous. I think it's certainly would attract in the kids. And then inside we've got a booming family fun. Okay, pretty cool instruction booklet in the sense that it actually works pretty well, because the thing that you find with Gibson is they're very good at putting together a very sort of structured and straightforward booklet. And then we've got some cards, we've got some player pieces. It seems to have knocked around a little bit. I'll put those all in there as well. We've got a little pot, very nice. We've got a little ball, some magic tricks, who knows. More cards, punch out cards, and then our ubiquitous bomb timer. Brilliant, okay, superb. So now we will go ahead and then play and then review Pass the Bomb. Well, like all great family games, party games, the setup is simple. Literally, you've just got to get out. You've got your puzzle pieces at the top there. You've got your plant and ball at the top there, plant, pot and ball there. You've got your best friend, Mr. Bomb, and then you've got your dice. And effectively, what you do is first player will roll the dice, and they will get a particular challenge. And so, for instance, that is Joker, and you can decide which challenge you want to do from any of the 5 challenges, which is helpful because I have to explain all the challenges. So, first one is the Puzzle Pro, which is here. I've got the booklet in front of me. As I always recommend, keep the booklet in front of you so you can see what's what. Bounce Boss, which is here. Rhyme Artist, which means you have to take one of these cards, and effectively on there is a Rhyme Artist, and you have to, effectively what you do is you find a word that rhymes with a word on the card, and then it goes to the next person, because remember, this is still Pass the Bomb, so the bomb is still being passed between people, but effectively what happens is you will pass the bomb when you come up, so land, so hand, manned, hand, grand, there you go, etc, etc. Category Captain, which effectively category captain, as you see, it says Italian, and you find a word in the category, so for instance Italian bellissima, for instance, and so just stuff like that. Word acrobat, there basically what happens is three cards are drawn, so you go 1, 2, 3, let's see if I can get those 3 in my hand, just about, there we go, so there's 4 there we go, so there's 3 in my hand, and then each card shows a consonant, and you have to find a word that contains all of the consonants, so 3 R's, that'll be rambunctious, rampacious, ramvesidir, I have no idea, but there you get it, there's basically words you're looking for. Now what's the difference here is every person who loses a round moves up 1, and obviously the person who gets closest to kaboom is the loser. Now, I don't know why that person's there, but effectively what happens is, so every time that you will get one wrong, you move forward, and if you don't, then you stay there, and the winner is the person who's closest to here at the end of the game. That's it, that's your lot. The way that I guess that the length of the game, so it says basically the end game is where one person ends up here, but I always say that, and knowing these sort of games, that they generally, what happens is they'll go on for probably 5-6 rounds, because if you've got 8 people, once you've done, what, 16, 24 rounds, 24 rounds is pretty solid. You can go up to 40 rounds if you had 8 people, but I think that would be enough. You probably get someone close enough, and then you just call it quits, type of thing. Anyway, though I have a soft spot for Gibson games, and I have a soft spot for Pass the Bomb, the original version, this game unfortunately suffers from a sort of 6 or 7 setbacks. I think that I like that they've tried to attempt to diversify Pass the Bomb, certainly for a family setting, but the problem is that the kind of tasks they've got on there are very one-dimensional, so they don't really grow or adapt as you play, where other family games, and I think for instance Crystal Maze, which is I know more expensive than this, but that has the diversification. So maybe they considered putting in a mobile app into this sort of, it would have made it more interesting. 2, the pieces are very poor quality. The cards are thin, the puzzle pieces are pretty bad as well. You know, even the plastic on the pot is not great. And the best thing about it is the bomb. So that compromises the playability, because I will find personally that kids might damage it, kids might sort of find it a little bit kind of, you know, it's not tactile, so they'll end up ripping it and stuff, and it will basically become like shreds in the box, which is never good. The third problem is that though the game has lovely kind of visuals, in the sense that they try to make it bright and sort of pronounced and sort of capturing of an audience, or certainly a kid's audience, it lacks much in the way in the box of keeping those kids sort of stimulated, keeping those kids entertained, because some of the topics, I mean the word one, the one that's word association, like Rhyme Artist, it just feels really sort of dull and placid, and I think kids will be like, okay, so when you go around you might go, oh, okay, land, band, grand, that's it. You know, I can really see it sort of stagnating. It worked well for an adult, so I certainly say that the 3 adults who played it really liked it. But I just think kids who it's targeted at, because you know it says age 8+, they might find it a little bit less sort of energetic than they want. So then the next thing is, it's basically the number of players, 3 to 8. I think once you get up to about 4 or 5, it's fine. Once you go over that, you'll find that 1 or 2 people will end up getting, because basically will end up getting collared, because the bomb itself, yes, okay, goes from 10 to 60 seconds, but you'll find that because of certain processes within the game, and certain sort of styles in the game, it will become really like one person, just as the person who comes to the patsy for everything, which is terrible. Gameplay, 30 minutes. If this game goes on, it can take up to 2 hours, so I will pre-warn you there. And then the last by no means least is, Gibson themselves are a great game company, and they've done some stellar work. This is not it. This is not one of them, I'm afraid, and I know that I'll probably be lambasted for that, but I just generally think that the quality of content, the playability of the game, the kind of rationale behind who they're targeting, it just all doesn't work. And unfortunately, past the bomb, the big one is the part I would pass it on.